It's no secret that it's the juniors and new grads that are facing the brunt of this tougher job market.
Big tech companies cut the hiring of new grads.
Nobody wants to hire a junior software engineer.
Big tech doesn't want you, bro.
New entry-level hires are down 25% since 2023, despite hires for mid-level and senior roles increasing.
So there you are, trying to land your first job in tech. Like most graduates, you do the sensible thing and check the job postings for some of your favorite companies. Google has 3,600 job openings. Amazon's career page lists more than 1,000 jobs. Same thing at Meta, they have almost 1,200 jobs you can apply for. There's also more than 600 other jobs you can check out at Apple. The most valuable tech company right now, Nvidia, has more than 2,000 job openings. That's a lot of opportunities for you to get hired right there. If you have been keeping up with the news, AI is on its way to change all of our lives for the better. We all know billionaire CEOs would never lie to us, right? Everyone's favorite AI company, OpenAI, also has 500 roles you can apply for. But maybe you don't like Sam Altman very much. Well, in that case, Anthropic has a few hundred roles you can also apply for. Too bad Dario is not interested in giving you a job, however. If we do a bit of high school math here, from these 7 companies alone, on the low end of the scale, that's at least 9,000 jobs in tech. Obviously, all those jobs are spread across a wide range of roles, from sales and marketing to research, customer relations, software development, analytics, engineering, product management, and security, just to name a few. If 7 companies alone have 9,000 job openings, question is, how many more roles are available if you expand that list to include the top 1,000 most well-known tech companies? And even more chances for you to get hired. That sounds great, yet if you watched my last video, I mentioned towards the end that I graduated more than a year ago with a computer science degree. But 400 job applications later, how many interviews did I land? 0. However, every time I get online, it seems like everyone else has a tech job. Yeah, except me, of course. So what the heck is going on? Am I the problem? Do I no longer fit what the job market is looking for? Is AI actually taking my job? Or are these companies just pretending to be hiring when in reality they're just laying people off to boost revenue? We're told all these companies do have job openings, but somehow people still struggle to get hired. Is everyone in tech just gaslighting each other at this point? When you hop onto YouTube, your homepage is filled with videos featuring people who graduated a couple of weeks ago telling you about their $200,000 offer from Netflix. Which, by the way, if you were wondering, they have about 700 job openings currently. How can you get served all that content and not feel like a failure? There's so many opportunities out there, and each time you send in a resume, you only get auto rejection emails telling you they'll hang on to your resume just in case something else comes up. If you didn't get hired this time, how much lower are your odds going to be the next time around with a fresh pool of candidates going up against your now outdated resume that the company has been hanging on to for more than a year at this point? Like I pointed out earlier, our sample of 9,000 jobs can be subdivided into categories that best match your degree. Maybe your favorite company has a really massive sales and marketing team, which is where most of their job openings are. In my case, based on my degree, I'd be looking for jobs in mobile development or maybe some entry-level back-end development positions. If you took the time to sit down and narrow the list to the roles you qualify for the most, from our pool of 9,000 jobs, chances are you can scrape together at least a few hundred job positions you meet the requirements for. So, why does it still seem like everyone else is getting hired except you? Especially if you're in a similar situation to mine, where you graduated much earlier, but each time you get onto TikTok, you find yourself flooded with a wall of videos full of people telling you about how they broke into tech before their final semester even ended. It's hard to run into content like that and not feel as though you are getting left behind. After 400 job applications and not even a single interview, you start to wonder if getting a computer science degree was even worth it. What is everyone else doing that you are missing out on? Are you not sending out enough applications? Are you not networking enough? Do I need yet another internship just to get noticed? Do I need to build yet another side project too? If you start asking around, a bunch of hiring managers will tell you, oh, just spend your time optimizing your resume for the applicant tracking systems. Well, okay then. Can you tell me how these systems work so I have an idea of what your company is looking for? Well, no, we can't do that since it's a trade secret. Just work on your keywords, make sure your resume covers the requirements. All that advice has been really helpful, by the way.
And how most modern applicant tracking systems work is, once they receive your application, almost instantaneously, the AI has scanned you and determined how close of a fit you are to the job posting, and it will assign you a ranking. Now, it's important to note that the AI itself is not rejecting you, but rather it is assigning you a ranking. Stronger candidates are ranked higher, and they may be color-coded green or considered to be a strong fit, whereas candidates who aren't so strong, they're probably ranked red or a lower priority.
You spend days in a row sorting through job listings, checking which roles you qualify for, putting all those jobs in a list. You go through the list, fill in the application form for each job because every company has their own separate system. You tweak your resume because let's not forget, a hiring manager told you it's now best practice to do that for every single application. By the way, don't forget to update the spreadsheet that tracks all the roles you've applied for. You don't need me to tell you that whole process quickly starts to burn you out, especially when you realize you're most likely going to get ghosted because guess what? There's 1,000 other people who are also applying for that same exact job. In a group that big, what are the odds that you are the best candidate? What are the odds of you actually standing out? Did you do enough internships? Are your college projects presented in an appealing way on your resume? Is your application even going to make it past the ATS, or will it die before a human even sees it? Most importantly, is this job even real? Careers in tech skyrocket in popularity for a wide range of reasons. Salaries are often good, there's a chance you can work from home, the tech industry is experiencing increased demand, and let's not forget, tech is the new status symbol for the kids who couldn't become doctors or engineers. Based on that, more and more people are choosing to go into computer science. Instead of becoming a lawyer, why don't you get a computer science degree that specializes in compliance? There are countless stories online about people who taught themselves how to code and managed to get a job at Google. As a graduate, it's easy to look at that and wonder if you should have even bothered going to college. Maybe you should have just joined a one-year boot camp after high school. Maybe you should have just gotten a regular job and learned to code in your spare time. Is a computer science degree going to help you stand out in an industry where someone can take a few online courses, get a bunch of certificates, then apply for the same job as you? Often in medicine, surgeons worry about competition from other surgeons. In tech, someone can teach themselves using online resources and get the same job you applied for with your degree. Tech companies are allowed to be more selective when it comes to entry-level jobs because there are now so many people trying to get into tech. Why hire someone who just has a degree when that same pool of candidates features someone who did 5 internships, built an app that went viral, and already has a Twitter following along with a massive YouTube channel and an online presence? The job market is now so oversaturated that learning the basics starts getting you nowhere. Did you graduate college without, quote unquote, knowing the right people? Well then, good luck trying to get hired because you are getting nowhere unless somebody refers you for the job. But if you do want to get referred, you should have joined the right clubs in college, should cancel the right people at your school who could have gotten you in front of those companies. Did you remember to cold email people at companies you want to work at? Did you join enough hackathons? Also, during your internships, did you make friends with your colleagues? You gotta build that network. Come on now, mate. Have you been paying attention? Who do you think is going to give you that referral? Oh, wait a minute now. Let's say you just graduated with good grades and nothing else. Maybe you went to college or university in a small town that does not have much internship opportunities. Maybe you already had a part-time job to pay off your student loans, meaning doing internships was not a possibility for you. Maybe you financially could not afford to chase internships due to family reasons, or perhaps you will be forced to move halfway across the country to do so. Perhaps you did not feel ready to apply for internships while you were studying, because you were struggling to keep your grades up in college. Well then, mate, I have some bad news for you. No entry-level job cares about your circumstances. When your resume shows up next to another candidate who spent their summer break at Apple, safe to say you are not getting picked. It's hard enough to go through all that without feeling like you are the problem. Like I mentioned earlier, there's countless stories online which will quickly make you feel like a failure. Guess what though? It only gets worse.
That's right, folks. Longtime owner Mr. Krabs is opening a new restaurant called the Krusty Krab 2. First of all, congratulations, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
A lot of graduates are being pushed into cheating the application system and the actual job interview process. Are you finally burned out after weeks of sending in application after application, only receiving auto-rejection emails telling you to try again in 6 months? Well then great, you my friend are in luck. For a small fee of only a few dollars, these lovely services here will let you sign up, create a profile, upload your resume, and guess what? They'll do all the applying for you. I mean, how convenient is that? If 400 job applications have gotten me 0 interviews, for that small fee, you can double your own odds to 800 automated job applications where, let's be honest, you have no clue what the company does, where it's based, or what the job even is. But hey, you might get an interview. Maybe you want to start working as soon as possible because you moved across the country for college and need to pay rent. Maybe you are an exchange student who needs to get hired before your visa expires. There's a bunch of services out there just ready to take advantage of that desperation. And it's getting even harder to judge people who do use services like these. When you get no responses to hundreds of applications, when you have bills to pay, when you're getting ghosted endlessly for months and you finally burn out, at that point, are you even going to have enough willpower left to keep quote-unquote doing things the right way? When constant rejection is all you're getting, when you run into yet another YouTube video about someone who built an app that went viral and launched a startup from their bedroom, doing things the right way starts to feel like you are no longer good enough to get hired. Let's not forget the interviews themselves. Tech is notorious for the sheer number of interview rounds candidates have to go through. Spending an entire month interviewing for a single company only to get rejected is enough to drive anyone over the edge. But guess what? There are even more services to help you with that too. For a small fee, of course. Have you been failing technical interviews because you struggle with lead code? Or maybe you got nervous during an interview and forgot what you practiced? Well, you, my friend, are in luck. For just a few more dollars, you too can cheat your way to the next round. If the interview process is built to screen for only the 10x developers because companies no longer want to train people who just graduated, of course an entire industry is going to pop up and take advantage of all that desperation and frustration just so they can make money from all those people who just want to get hired. Imagine a company you applied to told you You're competing for the software engineering job against 20 other candidates who have both work and internship experience. And all you bring is a computer science degree because you just graduated. Simply based on that, you don't need me to tell you the odds are not in your favor. And don't forget, you aren't the only one who's desperate to get hired. Now, the question becomes, in a job market this bad, in a world where people need hundreds of job applications just to land one single interview, how many of the other 20 candidates you're competing against for the software engineering position are also paying to cheat their way through the interview so they too can make it to the next round?